YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. You already know it is your girl Bree, and Black Ops 6 is finally here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the best controller settings for not only aim assist, but movement as well. So lock and load. I'm about to dive deep into all the settings that you guys need to play your best and prestige as fast as possible. So moving forward, we're going to start with the basics. Make sure that your aiming input device is set to controller and button layout is set to tactical. I've played on tactical for a very long time. Basically all this does is switches the melee and the change stance slide dive button. So your diving, sliding, that movement mechanic is going to be your right joystick. The stick layout is default, and I'm playing on 6.6 sensitivity. A lot of people like to play on higher sensitivities, but whenever you look at pro players and players that are more consistent with their gameplay, they normally play on a lower sensitivity just because you don't find yourself overcorrecting as much. Play with it. I suggest starting at 6.6 or even 5.5. Play around with it, see what's most comfortable for you, and then go from there. The simplified controls preset is going to be off. Basically what this does is if you have this setting turned on, it's going to make your mantling, interacting with stuff on the ground, reloading, picking up guns, it's going to automatically do it for you instead of you manually doing it. I personally do not like that setting because whenever I'm trying to peek a corner or hop up on something or stand still and do something, I don't want to automatically mantle, automatically crouch, or peek the corner. I want to be able to do it on my own. So that is for the simplified controls preset. The low motor strain preset is set to off, bumper ping off. So the swap LBRB with LTRT, basically this is going to take your triggers and make them to your bumpers. That's personal preference. I have them turned off. Controller vibration turned off unless you like it, but I personally do not. And then as far as dead zones go, whenever you guys first boot up the game, they're going to be set to the default settings. So left stick and right stick minimums are going to both be set to 15, with left stick max and right stick max are going to be set to 99. I have my minimum dead zone set to 2 on both my left and right stick. Basically, the lower dead zone that you have, the less time it takes for your controller to register that you're moving your joystick. Then the left and right trigger, I would set that to 0, so you have 0 delay whenever you're pressing the triggers. Okay, now this is where it gets into the meat and potatoes of the controller settings as far as your aiming goes. I have my sensitivity multipliers set to default 1.0 on third person, ground vehicles, air vehicles. This stuff doesn't necessarily matter as much as your zoom sensitivity will matter moving forward in this video. Look inversion just set to standard. We're going to move on to the aiming advanced settings. So once we get this set up, I'll show you guys kind of what every setting does. This is a very important setting right here. ADS sensitivity transition timing. You're going to want this set to instant because whenever it's set to gradual or after zoom, it takes a few milliseconds for your sensitivity multiplying curve to actually kick in. So if let's say, for instance, you had it set to after zoom, the multiplier that you have selected will not apply until you are fully ADS'd versus whenever it's instant. As soon as you start aim down sights, that sensitivity multiplier is going to kick in immediately. The third person ADS correction type is going to be set to assist, and aim response curve. Make sure you guys have this on dynamic. It'll give you a little drop down menu where you can change your aim response curve slope scale. Make sure you guys drag that bar all the way down to 0. Okay. And then custom sensitivity per zoom. I don't really change anything past the first bar for low zoom. I have mine set to 0.65. Whenever you guys first load into the game and start getting into gunfights, you're going to feel like your aim is very fast. It's going to feel kind of wonky. If you feel like you can't lock onto your target whenever you're aiming down sights, I would suggest dropping down this multiplier to as low as it feels comfortable for you and then slowly working your way up. So let me show you guys an example of what I mean with this setting, right? So let me try to find an enemy. I hear someone. So basically that sensitivity multiplier adjusts this right here. How fast my sight moves whenever I'm ADSing. Okay, that's what that setting is for. So I'm not really feeling like whenever I first booted up, it was set to 1.0. I felt like I was a little bit shooting in circles, right? So I turned it down and it's feeling much better now. I don't really feel like I'm going like this trying to lock onto the guy. So that's what I suggest, and then just adjust it to whatever feels most comfortable for you. Okay, so back to controller settings, aiming Aiming advanced setting. Okay, we were back to the custom sensitivity per zoom. Like I said, I left everything else at default besides the sensitivity multiplier on low zoom. So now we're gonna get into the movement controls. I'm gonna give you guys the best settings that I've had since I played the beta and then played for about an hour this morning. If there are any settings that you're like, Bree, that doesn't feel good or that doesn't feel right, I recommend commenting down below with what your current settings are, and I can do my best to go through the comments and help you guys kind of adjust. But as a rule of thumb, use these settings, play with them for a couple of hours, and if you don't like something or you feel like something doesn't feel right, try adjusting it, lowering it, upping it, and just finding what is most comfortable for you. So the sprint assist setting, this is going to be set to tactical sprint assist. This is going to make it to where you just have to push forward on your joystick to tactical sprint. With the Omni-Movement, I feel like this is a crucial setting so it doesn't feel as clunky. Whenever you hit the drop-down menu, make sure you guys have the sprint assist delay set to 0, okay? Sprint assist sideways and sprint assist backwards. I have this set to on so that I automatically, if I want to kind of move to the right or move to the left or jump back, it automatically does that for me. I have mantle assist, crouch assist, and corner slice set to off. Like I mentioned before, the mantle assist and crouch assist, I don't want the game to automatically do that for me. I want to be able to control when I do that because that can make or break a gunfight. The corner slice, this is kind of like whenever you not screen peek, you kind of like corner peek a little bit. So I'm going to turn it on, show you guys what it looks like whenever it's on. And then I'll turn it off and show you guys what it looks like whenever it's off. Okay, so see how my gun is kind of tilting to the right a little bit, right, like right there. Some people prefer that, some people do not. Let's go finishing move this bot. Wait, where'd he go? He gone. All right, but yeah, that's what the corner slice is, chat. So if you like it, leave it on. All right, let's turn it off and show you guys what it looks like with it off. It's basically just gonna be... Is he in? Oh, he's in the tunnel, chat.
Enemy marksman down. Now's our chance.
Okay, so that's what it looks like without it on. I currently have it off. Slide/dive behavior, I have it set to tap to slide because I don't want to be diving around. I want to be sliding. Some people play on hybrid. I haven't gotten used to hybrid yet. It kind of takes a second to get used to, so I don't suggest starting on hybrid, but if you feel comfortable with it, you're already playing on hybrid, make that what you already play on. So if you guys are playing Warzone all the time, this setting right here, the slide and dive, keep that on whatever you're currently playing on. And then turn this drop down menu, the slide dive activation delay to short, okay? Automatic airborne mantle set to on, sprint restore on, slide maintain sprint on, parachute doesn't really matter. Okay, mantle cancels reload. This is a good one. You want to make sure that if you are reloading and you try to mantle something, it doesn't cancel your reload and you keep reloading, okay? All right, movement advanced settings. Here's what we're gonna do. Sprint/tac sprint behavior is gonna be set to toggle with auto move forward set off, okay? Basically, what this automatic or this tactical sprint behavior does is whenever you have it toggled, you press your left joystick to automatically start tac sprinting forward. And whenever it's set to hold, you kind of like have to hold your joystick down the whole time. So I just feel like that's kind of a waste of time. Tac sprint activation, single tap sprint, plunging underwater is trigger, and then sprinting door bash is set to on. And then now we're gonna get down to the combat settings. We're kind of flying through these settings, to be honest, man. We are cooking. So now we're gonna dive into the combat settings. We are gonna have aim down sight behavior set to hold and weapon mount activation behavior set to ADS plus melee. So whenever you ADS and then melee at the same time, that will mount a wall, a box, whatever you choose to mount up on. Dedicated melee weapon activation. So this means whenever you're just running around, it's kind of like Apex. Whenever you're running around and you just want to not have your gun out, you hold down on whatever your melee button is. It'll pull out your melee weapon and you can just run around with your knife out. Okay, so it kind of gives you a little bit more speed. You're not running around with your guns. You got automatic tac sprint and you're kind of just running around the map doing your thing. All right, armor plate behavior, we don't really need that. Maybe for zombies, I have mine set to apply all. C4 detonation needs to be 1 by 1. Equipment behavior needs to be set to hold. Manual fire set to press. And then we're gonna jump over to the combat advanced settings. This is gonna be your pinging, your interacting, all of the other stuff that's kind of like the nitty gritty in your combat controls. So the change D-pad up behavior. So whatever you have this set to, your top button, your top D-pad, I have mine set to live ping. Okay. Change zoom activation, sprint, tactical sprint / focus. That's what I have mine set to. This is basically, let's say you have an AR that has an optic that's dual zoom. So it's got a 2x and a 4x. It's going to be, you're going to press down on the left joystick to switch that or focus with a sniper. Weapon mount exit needs to be set to off. Interact reload behavior needs to be set to prioritize interact so that you're not constantly picking up guns, constantly reloading whenever you're trying to pick up guns. Prioritizing interact will make sure that if you want to interact with something, you want to pick up a gun, hit an ammo box, you do that, and then you hold to reload. Sprint cancels reload needs to be set to off. ADS stick swap needs to be set to off. Depleted ammo weapon switch needs to be set to off. And then body shield / finishing move behavior, you want to prioritize your finishing move. That's what I have mine set to. But if you want to prioritize running around and holding people hostage, you can prioritize that. Body shield only, finishing move only. This is kind of personal preference. So when it comes to aim assist, it's not as like in-depth as it is on Warzone or previous titles. You literally have an on-off switch. And then the aiming advanced settings is kind of where you adjust things, then fine-tune them more to your personal preference. But these 3 settings right here are going to be the most important, especially the aim response curve top. You're going to want to leave that on dynamic. And like I said before, you're going to want to drop this down to 0.00 so you have 0 delay on whenever your dynamic curve starts to impact your sensitivity whenever you're aiming down sight. Okay, other than that, chat, I believe that wraps up all the controller settings. Next week's video is going to be max FPS, max graphics settings, best graphics settings based on what you play on. If you guys enjoyed today's video, do not be afraid to hit the thumbs up button on it. Leave a comment down below with any questions you guys might have. And I look forward to seeing you guys on next week's video. Enjoy Black Ops 6.